Your
friends. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Popular Owners Podcast.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Ingrid.
Welcome back to episode 2.
Ew.
We almost got snatched off the street.
We did, y'all. Literally, y'all see those videos on TikTok that are always like, if you live in the area, like, watch out for this. That literally happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, quite literally happened to me and Anna. But yeah, if you live in the Fort Worth area
by Alta Mesa,
yeah, y'all be careful. Y'all listen to this.
Yeah.
But it kind of all started because
we don't even live by there. To clarify, we were there for a reason.
We were just there because it was the closest Sally's to us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was. We just like lived super far from them, so we had gone. Oh, Sally's. I wanted to dye my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to dye my hair. I was post breakup and I wanted to dye my hair copper for some reason. So we got in a little car.
Copper's a cute color.
Copper is a cute color, and I liked it because it didn't give copper. It gave like a darkish copper, like a brown copper. So like in the sun, it was giving copper.
Yeah, in the sun is where it really showed.
It was giving copper.
But it's also because we didn't bleach it before. We just laid it on her dark hair.
I was scared.
Yeah, but also I didn't trust myself to bleach her hair.
Yeah, I was really scared. But I trusted her though. If we had to, I was gonna let her.
Yeah.
We were looking at videos and everything. But I guess your parents weren't home, right?
No. They were in Mexico. My brother had already moved out. My sister was still in college. And so she was out of town because she doesn't go in college in this town. And so my parents were in Mexico and I was home alone. But I was never at my house alone, you know? But because I just got out of work, I worked all the way in Arlington. And I was like, okay, we'll do it after my job. I'll go with Scoop. Like, we're going to go, we'll get food, and we'll go back, and we're going to die, and everything, bing, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm.
But
very exciting.
Which, those things did happen. We did get to die. We did get the food. We got a little scared during the process.
So, mind you, she had just came out of work, and she used to work at an office. She worked at
it's State Farm. Go get y'all's insurance.
Yeah, go get y'all's insurance.
The life insurance. Y'all need it.
But with her mama.
Mm-hmm.
If it ain't with her mama, then don't do it.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, because
her customer service is really good, by the way. Look at the reviews and you'll see.
Yeah. But I'm like, bing, it shows like her picture right here.
Bling.
Bing. But what's it called? Yeah, mind you, she had just got out of work. She was dressed like she had heels on, like professional clothing on. And me, I was my day off. I had a hoodie on, some leggings.
But you also dressed like that because you wore something that you didn't care about fucking up.
Yeah, because we were gonna dye my hair.
Yes.
We were gonna dye my hair, so I just like regular whatever, like kind of bummy, and she was dressed up. And mind you, I'm a lot shorter than Anna, way shorter than Anna. I even look younger than her when I have no makeup on and this and that, but I am older than her. So to the public eye, it was for sure giving big sister, little sister vibes. Big sister, little sister vibes, for sure. But it was me, Anna and I. Sorry, my older brother corrected me on that one time. But it was us two and my older brother. We were on our way to Sally's and we went into Sally's. No, it started when we drove into the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started when we drove into the parking lot. I remember I was in the back seat and I just hear Anna like, what the fuck? Why is she looking at my car or something like that?
Okay, so it's like an outlet, kind of. So there's multiple stores next to each other, and we went into the parking lot of Kroger. Kroger is the very corner of it, and people cross like in front of you to go into the store. So I let this person cross in front of me, but while she's crossing in front of me, and we still have this truck. We have a nice SUV. Like, it was a nice white truck. And this lady is checking it out, but from under, she's like ducking and looking while she's walking right in front of me. And even when she gets to the side where she's like, I don't have to like stop for her anymore, she's still looking under the truck. And so I was like, what the heck? Like, okay. Like, and I literally said it too out loud because I think sometimes I don't even like think, I just say.
It was sus.
Yeah. And I was like, why the fuck is she looking under my car for? And we just kept driving off. I didn't think much of it, but everybody saw her. Like
Yeah,
everybody.
all of us saw
It was
her.
me on the driver's side, my boyfriend on the passenger side, and Ingrid behind my boyfriend, her brother. So she was in the back, and we all saw her face. So then we get to Sally's. It's probably like 3 stores like next to Kroger, and we park. And my boyfriend didn't want to get down, so we let him stay there. And that's whenever we go in.
Yeah, so we went in, we got our stuff. That we couldn't find the freaking bowls to save our lives. And then they were like, they're in the front.
Yeah, they were like behind the
were,
cashier.
Yeah, and they sure were. We're like, dang. She saw her cousin there. It was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
right?
it was my cousin's cousin. She's not familiar to me, but we knew each other.
Yeah, her cousin's cousin. Then we
were in there for like 10
minutes? 15 minutes max for sure. Not a long time at all. Because I kind of already knew what I was gonna get because I had done some research prior to that. So we go in, we get what we need, I pay for all the things, and then we walk out, right? We get into the car, we're like, oh, let's go get Subway, right? And we go leave the stuff in the car because we were just gonna walk.
Because Subway's like 5 or 4 stores next to Sally's, like more further down the outlet.
Like it's like a shopping center.
Yeah,
like y'all know those. Yeah, y'all know. But yeah, and we just like went and we're gonna just drop off the hair color and all that stuff, develop all that stuff that we bought from Sally's. We were just gonna leave it in the car and we were gonna walk.
Yeah.
And my brother
there's no point.
Yeah, there was no point. Why waste the gas? Like why turn on and off the car? Like just walk. We were gonna walk, right? And then we get to the car, right? And then I think Carlos tells you, right?
Because he's also wearing all black with the black cap, and he has a seat like laying down, so he's like, and the car's off, it's already getting a little dark outside. It's like evening, you know what I mean? So like the sun's going down, and if you look in, you won't notice him if you're not looking for somebody. Like you just glance in. So he's like, I open the driver's side and I hand him stuff. I was like, hey, we're gonna go to Subway. We'll be right back. And he's like, get in the car. And I was like, what? And he's like, get in the car right now. Tell Ingrid to get in. And I was like, okay. Like I just listened.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Ingrid, get in the car. He's telling us to get in the car. So she goes around. She gets in the car. I get in. And I turn the car on. And he's like, the woman came back and she was looking. Was she looking in the store or was she looking at the truck?
I think he said both.
Well, she was looking. I guess she looked in the truck to see if we were there, and then she looked in the store because the store, it's like a big cube. You know what I mean? Like you just walk in, you walk out. Yeah. But there's little aisles, and it's all glass. The front is all glass.
Yeah, like you can see in and you can see out.
Yeah. So, but we didn't see her because we're looking for other stuff. But assuming she looked in to see if we were in there, and he was like, she came back. Because also, if you're going into Kroger, you're in there for like a good minute, and she came out with no bags. She was like, the second we walked in, apparently, like she like came by, she looked at the truck and she looked inside, and then she kept walking down the actual like shopping center. So then like I was like, oh shoot, well I'm still hungry. So because I had gotten out at 6. I didn't get there because of traffic. Like maybe it was like 7 at that point. We were at the Sally's at around 7.
Yeah.
So I usually don't eat besides that lunch, and it was like my lunch was super early. So I was like, let's go. I really wanted the food. I was like, well, either way, we're still gonna go. We'll just drive and park right in front of it.
Yeah.
So we go and we back up, and I told him I was because we didn't know where she ended up going, you know, like how far down or anything. And so I parked next to this truck because there was a parking spot right there in front of Subway.
Or there was like 2 cars in between us and the truck.
No, it was just one.
It was just one?
Yeah, because I was still able to see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you're right. It was just one. It was like a car and an empty parking spot and then them. Because I remember they were kind of far.
You see, I don't remember them being far.
I remember them being far, but not too far. Like, you know what I mean?
Because whenever he was walking, like, I was able to see him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay.
I don't know. I don't think there was 2. I think it was just one in the way.
Yeah, but we got to Subway, right? And then we see this lady for the 3rd time walk out of the laundromat that was right next to the Subway.
Or no, she walked in or out. I don't know.
She walked out.
Oh, no, yeah. She had walked. There was a laundromat right next to Subway, and she walked out of it, and I noticed her. Like, we all noticed her, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, that's her. And she's walking out. There's a car, there's a truck next to me, and that truck next to her, she just stopped. Like, I guess, like, she didn't. I was turning around. I'm really bad at storytelling. But she walked out, and I didn't see her, like, walk into the parking lot, because there's no other way if you're walking towards the parking lot. And she just kind of disappeared after she passed the truck. So I told Ingrid, I was like, okay, like, I don't know where she's at, Like, we need to be on high alert. And while we're
Yeah.
saying this, a guy also proceeds to walk out, and he opens the truck door that she walked next to, and he's just there, like, opening the truck. Like, he's there, and he turns around and he's talking to somebody. I could see it through the windows. I could see him talking to somebody, but I can't see who it is. And so I'm telling him, like,
And
I'm
then it
telling her,
wasn't one of those things where it was like, oh, like we blinked or we looked away and she probably
no,
went
like,
somewhere else.
we
We
were
were
following,
looking at
like,
her.
yes,
Yeah.
like, there's no way we missed her or
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
He was talking to someone. He was on his phone. He was talking to someone, and I'm assuming it was her. Like, we're pretty sure it was her. And so I was like, okay, Ingrid, we're gonna walk, but like, I'm also in heels. I'm not gonna speed walk or run into this, like, subway, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, we need to be on high alert. Like, be aware. Like, if he starts walking towards us, like, anything, right? And so I'm like, we gotta look at each other's backs. That's one thing I remember telling
Yeah,
you.
we were like, okay, like you're gonna stand here, we're gonna stand here. You look that way, I look this way.
Mhm.
Like there's gonna be
And
no.
my boyfriend stayed in the car.
Yeah.
And so, but we told him to, like, be on the lookout, like, in case they start walking, and you need to see which way they're walking, right? And so he's like, okay. And he's still like very, like, discreet.
Yeah,
Like, nobody knew he was in there, like, not the guy or anybody, right? And so we walk out. I get out of the driver's side. I'm looking behind. Nobody's gonna ambush me from the back. And so then we go onto the actual, like, sidewalk thingy in front of the store, and we're walking to the door, and we noticed him, like, started to, like, walk behind us, and
like towards us.
yes,
Yeah.
and so I
Like
make
almost
eye
like we're
contact.
walking and he's like gonna cut us off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I make eye contact with him, like, okay, what the fuck? And I tell Ingrid, like, he's walking towards us.
Yeah.
And we get into the store, and he proceeded to walk, like, towards the door, like, if he was gonna walk in. And so I pull out my phone. I'm making eye contact with him the whole time. Because I remember one time, Mom told me, back when she used to work at another State Farm, she told me that she used to work with this lady who, like, helped kids with, like, from kidnappings, like that, like the aftermath of, like, the kidnapping. And so she told me that one time that the actual guy, like, who actually, like, kidnaps and is, like, sequestra and all that stuff, that he told her that the one thing that he looks for is people who can't make eye contact, because you don't want to see, you want to make sure the victim doesn't know what you look like in case they escape or anything like that. So, like, if they're looking down on their phone the whole time, like, that's a good sign. Or, like, if they're careless, that's a good sign that he could take them. So my mom told me that. And after that, I make eye contact with every single person I can. I try to never look at my phone. So when I saw him walking towards us, I made eye contact with him the whole time. And I pulled out my phone. The second I pulled out my phone to call Carlos to get out or do something, he, like, immediately, like turned,
full 360,
like, yes,
like turned around.
like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like, he freaked out and started walking back, and I don't know where he went. And so then we're like, I was like, okay, he's gone. What the fuck? Okay. So we were like, let's just get our food and leave. You know, we were, like, already, like, on edge.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you're getting your food.
Yeah, let me tell y'all, I was so mad because one, that's sus. Like sus, like why was that guy about to like
come at
us right now? Like for what? Like why?
And I also had I was dressed nice, and I had a nice truck. I probably looked like I was made out of money. It's not my money.
Yeah,
it is not my money.
Yeah, like I said, we looked very much big sister, little sister vibes. Yeah, like literally, we did. And so I'm there, right? We get into the store, right? I'm like, all right, cool. Like he's went away. We're gonna get our food real quick. And we get in, there's this man, like, he's an old man. Like, he's old.
Which he was sitting down at first.
Yeah, he was sitting. He was literally sitting on the table, and I'm like, oh, maybe he's just finished eating. Maybe he's whatever the fuck. I don't know. But he was sitting down, right? And I'm looking to see which chips do I want today. Like, which chips do I want today? And as we're, like, there, this old ass man gets up and, like, this is me looking at the chips, right? This man gets right me, y'all. Right behind me. And I'm like, I turn around, I'm like, I'm literally like, what the, and I, like, scoot up, right? Because it's our turn to order the food. Mm-hmm. This man, literally, como un chicle, dude, like, right behind me. As I'm going down this line, like, right behind me. And mind you, while he was doing that, it wasn't like he didn't know we didn't know. Like, Anna said, dang. And I said, damn, I'm right behind me. Like, loud. So he knew that I was aware that he was right behind me. Mm-hmm. Or to let him know about himself that he's right behind me.
Like, this man didn't care about personal space at all.
He did not care. I was like, you're in my bubble. Like, back up. I was like, back up. I was so mad because through everything. Even, like, whenever I was about to pay and, like, He was right there.
The whole time I was on the
Yes.
phone too. Like we noticed it and we're like, oh my god, this is so annoying. Like
Yeah.
we were just about to get pursued by somebody. Now this is happening.
Yeah, it was
And
very
so like
annoying.
I'm on the phone with Carlos because he's also like, y'all need to hurry up. Like come on now. Da, da, da. And so when she's about to pay, she puts in her card and she's putting in the password. He's like breathing down her neck, watching her put in her. I look at him and I looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Like that type of look. And that's whenever he kind of like looked at me and was like, oh shit, you know? And like, like he barely scooted back a little bit. He just stopped looking, basically.
Yeah.
And that's whenever I was like, well, we need to fucking go. Like,
yeah, my brother asked for a drink. We didn't get him the drink.
We literally forgot. Like,
yeah, like, we just got our food and like dipped, like whatever. And then we were leaving, and then once we were leaving, we made a plan. Like,
yeah,
we had a plan. Like, Anna was like, what did you have to say?
I was like, okay, you're gonna go in through your side, and I'm gonna go around my truck to make sure they didn't mark it. Because what people do is they mark your or dent like the license plate, so next time you're around the area, they know to like basically get you. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I'm gonna make sure they didn't leave anything. Make sure like they didn't leave a tracker. Like I'm gonna check under, make sure no one's in there, like under the truck, you know, something. And like also just to make sure if they're gonna attack me, they attack me because I'm like I felt bad that I was taking them there and I put them in that position and then they attack her instead. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna just go around like y'all like make sure like no one comes at me too. Though.
Yeah, like she was walking around this car and me and my brother were like watching her
like a hawk.
And I was hand on the door ready to get out of this car in case like I saw her fall really quickly or like get taken really quickly. I was so ready to get up out this car and like go save my best friend.
Yeah.
And so was my brother because we were not. It was so sus. So sus. But
and so like I'm done like making like so I went say like the car is parked like this. This is the front end and this is the back end. And so she gets into behind the passenger seat. So I walk behind her. I walk around. I make sure nothing is under my truck too when I'm back here. I make sure the license plate isn't there. I didn't scratch anything. I didn't leave a mark or anything. And I keep walking forward. I walk in the front for a little bit and I walk back and I get into the car or the truck. I get into the vehicle. I'm going to say that. I get into the vehicle and right when we get in, the man walks out with a cap. He wasn't wearing a cap and now he's wearing a cap. And he gets into his truck. And I told me and Ingrid noticed it and we were like, okay, what the fuck? Like I'm gonna make sure he knows that I'm on his tail. And so I was like, I'm gonna circle around it for like 3 times or 2 times.
And she sure did.
And I sure did. The whole parking spot, like in that area, not the front end of the shopping center, but the back end where we were at. Like I circled around so he knows like I'm on his tail. And even when I went back home, I took the long way home and I took this like street and I turned on different streets just to make sure no one was following me. And then whenever we got back home, I called my parents and I was like, this just happened. It was super weird. And they're like, you need to make sure they didn't leave a fucking tracker. And I was like, I did. Da, da, da. And she's like, no, go outside. At this point, it's dark. And she's like, go outside, take a light and check under the tires, check under like the tire curb and check under in the back. Make sure to leave not one thing behind. And that's whenever I was like, okay. So I got outside with Ingrid and Carlos and we go and we make sure nothing is like under the truck and nothing was under the truck. And so we go inside, we eat our food, and we start dyeing her hair. And even whenever I was dyeing her hair,
we were still
anytime I heard a car, Carlos was so careless. Like, he was fine at that point. Like, he was like, oh, it happened, and they left us alone. Yeah. But anytime I heard a car, I would look out at because we have a big glass door.
Or, like, we would get quiet. We'd be like...
Yeah, like, to make sure no one pulled up on us.
She even went the longest way home. Yeah. Like, to just make sure nobody followed us, because that is so scary. Like, and we see things like that all the time. Like, hey, like, if you're in this area, or, like, y'all be careful for when this happens. And never in a million years that I think that would actually happen to me. Because I'm, as y'all can see, y'all not blind. I'm chunky. I'm chunky. I was like, oh, they ain't never gonna take me. Like, that's a lot of work. Like, that's a lot of work. They ain't never gonna take me. I'm good. So, but ever since that day, I'm so scared. I run to my car, and as I'm running to my car, I look under to make sure there's nobody under my car, and then I get into my car, I lock the door, because I'm like, fuck no, not today. Oh, damn, I have to bleep that out. But
do we though?
We don't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I remember, like, ever since that day, like, that shit's so scary to me. Like, all of the whole, like, it's just, I cannot. Yeah. And mind you, I'm the most not self-aware person in the entire world because I have her.
Yeah.
Because I have her. But when I'm not with her,
because I'm
like,
paranoid.
Yes.
I'm a very paranoid person.
The most paranoid person. I remember
that you'll probably ever meet.
Yeah, I remember también we were looking for apartments one time, like, oh, I'm about together or whatever. And I made sure to get one where you could, from anywhere you could see the door, because I knew she's so paranoid that she'd be like, who the fuck walked in?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, I'm the least self-aware person. Like, I do not care. Like, if I'm with other people, I'm like, la la la, like I do not care about what's around me and stuff like that. That's why, like, I don't know what I'd do if it was just me there, you know, and not with her. Like, I probably would have been snatched up. Like, I probably would have been stuck because I'm not self-aware at all.
Yeah.
And then you, on the other hand, you're like, make eye contact with everybody. You're like
whenever we go to Walmart all the time, or Target all the time together, because we don't like going alone.
Yeah.
And so, whenever we go, like, there was this one time I remember we were walking out of Walmart, and this guy was looking at me. And I was like, I'm not going to break eye contact with you. I don't want to look like the weak link. And I didn't break eye contact with him until we passed each other. And then we stopped looking at each other. But it was just like this older man. And I was like, I'm not going to break eye contact. The fuck? Like, I'm not like that. Like, and even whenever we're out or we're at a restaurant, like, I look and like see where I could run out in case a shooter comes out. Or in case someone like starts robbing people in the restaurant or something. I promise you, I have a plan in my head. Like, dude, of what I'm gonna do.
She used to even walk around with her phone in, like, tucked in her pants in case somebody like stabbed her.
Yeah, like, I used to have my phone right here because I remember seeing something. This was in middle school too. Yeah. In like 7th, 8th grade, I used to have my phone right here because I remember seeing something where this guy like basically had the knife at someone's waist right here, and like I was like, oh, I'm gonna have my phone right here from now on, and I did for like 2 years. I've always carried it right there. Because I was so scared that someone was going to try to stab me. At least they go through my phone before they get to my skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
actually, these are dead-ass real things that she would do. Even recently, I told her I was going to be on my way to her house, right? But I was going to stop for food or something. I knocked on the door, and I guess, like,
I was home alone. I was home alone because my parents recently went to Mexico, too. And I was home alone. My sister went with them this time. And my brother is already moved out, so I'm home alone. I'm also painting my house. So, like, I have my music cranking up, but because I knew she was going to be on the way, I have my music down. And I have a pocket knife with me. And someone was knocking at the door, and I got freaked out. It was her, and I had my knife with me. And I opened the door, and I'm like, dude, let me know when you're knocking at my door. And she sees the knife in my hand, and she's like, oh my gosh.
I was like, dang.
She's like, Bessie, you're about to stab me? And I was like, no, but if it was somebody else.
And then I made her, there's a popsicle stick on her nightstand, and I cut scissors, and I cut her little wooden sticks. I was like, just in case you can't get to your knife in time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past her. I was about to say, I wouldn't put it past her to still have them there on her nightstand.
I still have them
because, like, just in case, because you never know. But that's so sad.
Like, when I run, I have my pocket knife, like, because I have like a little Camelback, and like I have my pepper spray in my hand, but I also have my pocket knife right here ready for me to grab.
That thing is called a Camelback?
Yeah.
Because camels have water in their thing?
Yeah. Which they do, right?
Yeah, they do. But I didn't know it was called a Camelback. That's why I'm confused. I was like, so you said that, I was like, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
I think that's what it's called. Someone told me it's called that.
Wow, that's insane. But anyway.
Yeah. But I'm ready. Not right now. Don't come at me right now. But
you're like, not right now.
Usually I have a pocket knife with me all the time. And I'm always like, whenever I was living here too, I had like 2 or 3 pocket knives.
Dude,
because like
she even wanted to get a subscription box.
Yeah, because there's a subscription box with pocket knives. I wanted to get it because they had like cool little ones or whatever. But literally, like, because you never know when you need it.
No, funny story. When she lived with me, she came in every time her and my brothers would fight. Cause she slept in the room with my brothers, right? Because my brother, they were together. So my brother, she just slept with her boyfriend, right? And I would have my room, right? And she would come into the room, right? And she would tell me whenever she was mad at them. So this one time she came into the room, she's like, they fucking pissed me off. And I'm like, what happened? Like, you know, like, what happened? Because, like, that was, like, you know. And then she's like, I pretended like I was going to stab them, and they got mad at me. And I was like,
It's because...
I was like,
bro,
I wonder why would they be mad at that.
It's because look, in my family, with my cousins at least, this one cousin specifically, Chepo. That's not his legal name. We call him Chepo though. Chepo would always, even with guns, he would fire them like right next to us, and he would scare the shit out of us. But this one time, he had a knife, and me and Adon, my cousin, we were like in the room, and he was fucking around with this pocket knife, and he went like this, and like I thought he for real stabbed me. We got used to those type of things, like where you just roughhouse like that.
I'm sorry.
And this family doesn't roughhouse like that. So whenever I first moved in, it's very like, I don't want to say it's culture shock, but there was a bunch of different things that they did with
a whole bunch
this
of
family
different
versus that family.
things. Yeah.
And our producer was laying down on the bed, and I had this new pocket knife, and I went like he's laying down. It's so funny to me.
Mind you,
even though he was pissed.
This pocket knife was big. It was
like,
it was like a big knife, and it looked
no,
like
it was not
sword.
this big.
It was like this big.
It was a good,
but it looked like a sword.
Yeah,
like, it looked like.
And I just got it. It was like one of those like that you flick.
Yeah,
I think it was one of those. And so I flicked it, and I went down, and I like turned it around last minute. Like super last minute. If I didn't, I would have for real stabbed him because I put like actual strength. And I went like this, and I turned it around last minute, and he was like, like if he actually got stabbed. And I started laughing because of his reaction, and he was so mad. He was freaking pissed, and he went off on me a little bit. And then Carlos, my boyfriend, went off on me, and I was like, "Why are you going off? I didn't stab you, you know what I mean?" And I told him, I was like, "That's how we play around in my family." And he was like, "Well, you don't fucking do that shit." And he's like, "No, I'm real mad at you, bro. Like that's too far." And I was like, "Damn!" Like I low-key felt bad on the inside, but I was like, "They're tripping, bro." And I go in here and I tell her about it, and she was like, "Well, you did." You did like basically scare him to death.
And I was like, I was telling her like, oh, like, you know, he probably just got scared and stuff. But then at the same time, I was also like, oh, but he's a pussy.
Yeah, because I did that to her before. I pretended to stab her, and she got scared, but then she laughed.
Yeah.
So I was like, she's been around me longer.
Yeah.
You know? So, but I was like, bro, you didn't react like that. Like, and they're guys, and they reacted like that. And she was like,
I remember my boyfriend was in the room too.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like looking at me like, I think your best friend is crazy. And I remember being like, oh, well, you know, I was like telling her like, oh, he does have a reason to be mad. And then the next minute I was like, but then again, he's a pussy.
Like, you started siding with me and
like,
shit.
Yeah, like I was.
It was funny.
So funny.
I fully understand now that that's not okay to do to people. But still, like, in the moment, it was really funny. And thinking back at it now, it's still really funny. Because he full on gasped. Like, if I
he probably really
him,
thought that there was a knife in his stomach.
And it was, like, full, like, in the middle. Like, that was a good stab if I wanted to. You know what I mean?
I can imagine his...
Yeah, like, he was like, I was like, bro, there's no way. But anyways, yeah, like, always, like, the point is that I play around with knives and stuff like that.
Yeah, so she always has them on her. She knows how to use them.
Yeah.
She knows how to hold them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so she's very vigilant with that stuff and all of that. But I think it's so sad how we can't, like girls,
these two moms got kidnapped.
Oh, yeah.
At Trinity River. Like, and I don't know how old this news was. This is, like, for sure this year, but I don't know how many months or whatever. But they got robbed. They went on a run together, and they got robbed, like, in their own vehicle and everything.
Like, that sucks that we can't just live.
I told my dad about it, and he's like, "You see why I think I told you not to run?" And I was like, "It could literally happen to anybody." Gave the worst statement I could give after that sentence. And he's like, "It could happen to anybody, like you." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
Damn.
But
isn't that sad, though? Like, I love being a girl. Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
I love being a girl. I love everything about it. I'm a girl's girl.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the fact that I can't just, like, my brothers, they go for runs at night. Like, at night, they go for runs. And I have this trail behind my house. One side is pretty lit up and the other side pitch black.
Yeah.
Like, you can get stolen there and no one will know. Like, no, there's no camera. Like, it's bad. Bad. Like, they need to put lights there. Yeah. They run there and they will do the whole thing. Like, they'll run on that side too. And I'm like, that's crazy. Because I would be so scared. Like, once it starts getting dark, well, time get ready for bed because I ain't going away no more. Because that's just the reality, and that's so sad, honestly, that there's people like
I
that out
actually
in
have
the
a
world.
story. This one time we went to Mexico. I was probably like, I think I was 16, and we
Uh-huh.
went over there for Christmas, me and my family. And I had also went with, so my dad's part of like this little rancho next to a pueblo called Pejamillo, and so it's in Mexico, right? And um, so in this ranch, a second cousin of mine, her dad has a house over there too. So me and her were never close, and actually I think like we kind of like had like unknown beef with each other because
Mm,
we thought we had beef with each other, but we really didn't. But because we thought we had beef with each other, we were like on edge with each other.
yeah.
Like, but in Mexico, we got a little close because we were the only ones of our age who also knew English, and we didn't like talking in Spanish back then. So we got close, and we had to go get medicine for my dad. He was getting sick or something like that. Somebody in Mexico, and so we go into the pueblo, and the stores in Mexico, they're probably the size of this room. Like it's like a square. You walk in, you walk out. Like there's no aisles or anything. It's just the four walls. At least in this like in where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and my cousins were like basically like outside the store, like basically at the edge of the wall. And we're looking at one of the things that was dangling. It was like a pharmacy, but there was like these little like bracelet things that was dangling. We were looking at them. And before we even get to the store, we were walking with my family. My dad was trying to park the car somewhere so we get out. And my mom is saying hi to everybody because like they know who she is, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a little mini family reunion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's saying hello to everybody and da da da. So in my head, I'm like, okay, they already know who this woman is and who my dad is. And so we go into the store, and me and my cousin are just looking at the little things on the side. This man approaches us, and he's like, "Oh, where's your mom?" Because he told me, "Where's my?" This was all in Spanish, by the way, but I'm not gonna say it in Spanish. He was like, "Where's your mom?" And I was like, I pointed at her because I'm assuming he recognized me, so he recognized my mom, like all the people back there. So I pointed at my mom, and he's like, "Oh, would y'all like to have a sleepover at my house?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "I could go take you to my house." And me and my cousin,
I remember you telling me this
yeah,
story.
me and my cousin, I just grabbed her and I walk in the store. Like I took one step or 5 steps, and we were back with my mom, behind my mom.
Was this
And
the same trip that we talked the same Mexico trip that we talked about in our last podcast?
no, because that was,
The one
oh,
that
you know
like
what? Was I 16 junior year?
yeah, yeah. You
Why do
turned
we push our
17.
noses like that when we think? We go like that when we think.
It just helps
It helps us
it helps the
focus.
mind flow.
Yeah. Also, the last podcast, my little piercing like thing kept poking out. It is not a booger, just by the way, in case someone says anything. It's my little
Yeah.
piercing thing.
But then what happened?
Oh, okay. So, we go back behind my mom, and he goes into the store with us, and I'm like behind my mom or whatever. So I go behind my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I go behind her, and this guy comes in too, and then my mom's already at the cashier, like she's about to pay, and he pulls out his wallet, and he's like, "Here, I'll pay for whatever y'all get."
Whoa.
He's like, get these girls some candy too. And my mom was like, no thank you, I could pay for my own things, like that. Like, and this is all in Spanish, by the way, again, I say. And so he's like, no, no, for real, for real. And she's like, no, I have my own money, I don't need your money. And then he's like, okay. He like that, okay. And then he tells the pharmacist or the lady in the cashier, he's like, give me a pack of those cigarettes. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, my mom is really about to pay. What the fuck? Like, now you're ordering, like, you know?
Yeah.
Basically cuts in line. Whatever. And so then, so my mom just gives her the money. We start walking out while, like, he's, like, proceeding to talk a little bit with the cashier. And I'm behind my mom at the very end. Like, we have a little line. Because it's my sister, my brother, my grandma, my mom, me, and my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're walking out basically like little ducklings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me and my cousin are the last ones. When we're walking out, like he goes and tries to grab my hand, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I just like scurried like closer to my mom, and like he left us alone after that. But me and my cousin were like, we both had boyfriends back then, like ex-boyfriends back then. And we were like texting like, dude, like this guy basically tried to snatch us up in Mexico, da da da. And she was mad at her boyfriend because her boyfriend was like, damn, that's cool. Like, did not care. He was super like this
Oh my
man.
God,
I almost
L
got in a fight
Mans.
with this man for real because he was like, you can't talk to any of your guy cousins. You can't follow any guy. Like, he was super like controlling. And I told her because she would give him everything he wanted and more. Like, I was like, you're basically like a bitch on a leash. I told her that, and I only said that because her cousins told me to tell her. Like, her best cousins told me to tell her, and she was mad. But anyways, yeah. So
Hey man.
me and her almost got snatched up in Mexico too. Like, mm-mm.
See, that's crazy.
Nowhere is safe.
See, that's crazy. That's why we should go live in well, nowhere safe.
Switzerland. I don't know.
Switzerland.
Where do you never hear
I heard
crime?
Canada is peaceful.
Really?
I hope
Don't they have like health insurance, like all of them, or like health benefits? I don't know, something about
maybe or Brit.
free healthcare. Is not that
Oh, I have no clue.
something? They got free something. And it's really like good.
I don't know. I really don't know. But
In Canada, do they have a president? Do they have presidents in Canada? They do. Oh,
they have presidents.
because I've heard Canadians, like YouTuber Canadians, worrying about our presidents.
They're just worried for us.
They should be.
They're just worried for us. Which honestly,
Here's prime ministers.
Prime ministers.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to sound stupid.
Okay, what are prime ministers?
Fuck,
then?
I should have said it. You know, whenever the teacher's like, "Oh, what's the answer to this?" No one answers, and she says it, and you're like, "Fuck, I knew the answer."
Yeah.
That's me.
Mm.
That's me just now.
It'd be like that though.
Yeah. Fuck. Wow.
But what's a prime minister?
It's kind of like a president, but is it like a king or a queen more type?
Isn't that crazy how not all the places have presidents?
That is crazy.
You know what I mean? Like over there in England, is it England
Yeah.
where they have a queen
A queen and
and
a
a king?
king.
and how they literally rule till they die?
That's crazy, huh?
Like that's.
But
really,
maybe we
like,
need that. Maybe we need some consistency.
Do we though? Imagine only one president being consistent.
And then who chose them?
Yeah, when did it all start?
Yeah, like who chose
This is
them?
something we need to be asking
the
teachers
queen?
like back
Yeah,
then.
like, I want to know who chose that bloodline.
Yeah.
And why didn't they choose me? But that's really is crazy how like that happened to us, and you know, that's just one of the many things that has happened to us in our friendship timeline. Like also when we were in high school, we talked to the FBI.
And to this day, is it the
Was
FBI
that a
or
good
CPS?
segue? Was that a good segue?
Yeah. Good segue.
Good
I
segue.
literally forgot about that
Good
subject.
segue. Yeah, but we spoke to the FBI, or it might have been CPS.
And it's not because we wanted to. The school involved them in a matter that we told them.
Kind of. There was this girl at our school that we didn't like. We had a little beef for her, and there was one time I was scrolling through Instagram, and I was like, whatever, and I saw a page. I saw a page, and I was like, what is this? Like, this looks like, what's her name? Can we give her a fake name?
Yeah.
Let's call her Katie. Katie. So I saw, is this Katie? I said, is this Katie? And I'm like, I click on it, I'm like, yeah, this is Katie. And I scroll, right? And I'm like, as I'm like scrolling, I'm like, there's no way. There was crazy stuff on there. I don't know if y'all have ever heard about a kink account, what a kink account is, but it was basically her.
We're not laughing at the situation. We're laughing at his face.
It was
our
at my producer. Yeah. So she like had a kink page where she posted her spanking herself. She was like posting pictures of like very sexual pictures of herself with like quotes saying like "Daddy made me" or this and that, or "Daddy likes when I."
By the way, we're in
myself.
high school. This was sophomore year.
This was sophomore year.
Yes.
We were little babies still. We
were 16, 17 year olds.
And
16, 15-year-olds.
Yeah, 15, 16-year-olds, yeah. And I proceed to obviously call my best friend.
Yes.
I call my best friend and I tell her about this. I show her everything, and then we're like, okay, should we tell somebody?
This shows you like how petty and immature kids are, because we did it for the wrong reasons. If we're honest with you, we
But
just wanted to,
honestly, it was
it's
good. It was a
good thing that
good
we
thing
did,
we did. Yeah.
but like
the
it's good that we
intention
brought
was
it.
not there.
It's good that we brought the attention to the school, but the intent behind it was
It
very
was
bad.
not good. Because so basically we were like, we should tell on her.
Yeah, we were like, we should talk to a counselor or something like that to get her in trouble because this is not okay. Da, da, da. And so
Yeah.
we went up to one of these counselors.
Wait, we were in choir. We went to choir and we asked our choir teacher. We were like, hey, can we go talk to the counselors because there's something we need to talk to them about.
Yeah.
Like it's an emergency. And then he was very understanding. He was always like, okay, like whatever you gotta do, like you do.
But
it.
also that day we didn't have much to do either.
Yeah, we didn't. It was like, yeah, we did not. We didn't have nothing
basically
to do.
off season for choir.
Yeah, off season for choir. If you know anything about UIL season, you know after UIL season, it's like
you're chilling.
Chilling. But we were chilling, right? And we went up there, right? We had two counselors. One, her name was Miss Mendoza, and the other one was Miss Sanchez.
Which they're very, very cool, by the way.
Yeah, so we went up there and we spoke to Miss Sanchez because we went up there and we were like, hey, we need to tell you about something. And we basically, it was on my phone too because I'm the one who had Instagram at the time.
Yeah, I didn't have
Anna
any social media.
Anna didn't have Instagram at the time. And so I go and I show them my phone and I'm like, hey, like, I just don't think da-da-da. And when Katie would talk about her, she would tell me that this guy was this how old.
Because also one thing, and even when we were friends with her, because we were friends with her up until freshman year.
Yeah.
When we were friends with her, she told us about this guy who doesn't live in Texas. He was out of state, but he was an older dude that was talking to her, and we always told her that's not a good sign. Like this older man. Yeah. He wasn't hella old either. He was like 18 when she was like 15.
But we were little. There was just no
and 14.
Need.
Like
yeah, it was.
But there was like we told her too. Like, there's no need for him to be calling you and texting you all this stuff. Like that's weird.
Yeah.
So that's what we told the counselor too, that about this guy, and we think that she made this profile for him, and how like it's low key weird that she's making it because we don't want her to be in trouble one day with like a guy if he like finds her and like traps her or something happens. You know what I mean?
Because that's very probable.
Yes.
Clearly nowadays. But that happened. We talked to her and it became like she looked at us like, okay, like
she was like super concerned, like thank you for telling me, like, and she got someone else involved. Was it the other counselor? Yeah,
that's when she got Miss Mendoza involved, and then whatever she like that happened. We told her story, and then she came to us at the end of the day, kind of sorta, and was like,
she said, "Wait here."
Oh yeah. She was
because we waited outside in those chairs.
Yeah. Oh, I remember because
that's when they took.
Yes, when we were waiting in those chairs, our good friend Ludwin had came up to us because he thought that someone was messing with us.
Yes, because those counselors weren't regular like counselors about classes. Those counselors were there.
They were the intervention specialists.
Yeah, like they were there if you needed something. You just wanted to talk to them. You know.
Yeah, like therapists almost. Yeah, for high school. But we were out there and Ludwin comes up to us and he's like, oh, what happened while y'all here? Do I need to go beat somebody up? Like how we were explaining to y'all. But no, we were just like, oh no, we just had to talk to them about something. Because at that point we were like,
we can't tell nobody.
Yeah, we were like, dang, like we were in too deep. Yeah. And then we go, and then Miss Mendoza and Miss Sanchez come out, and this is why we think it's the FBI because they told me. I remember them telling us. Yeah, they did. That after that they were like, hey, so tomorrow, we're gonna get you out of class because the FBI is gonna come and they're gonna ask us some questions about the situation. And I kid y'all not, my heart dropped down to my ass. Yeah. Because I was like, huh?
And even after they told us that, they proceeded to take your phone.
Yes. No, that was the next day with the FBI because the FBI took my phone.
Oh, okay. But they still took your phone to look at it.
Oh yeah. Before when we were waiting in the hallway. Yes. Yeah, when we were waiting in the hallway. I remember. I was like, they're gonna see everything. I was like, they're gonna look through my phone. They're gonna look through the messages of me and Anna being like, should we tell on her?
No, because you didn't send it through messages. We were in choir when you found it.
Oh, true.
And that's whenever we talked to our choir teacher. And we're like, let's go up there.
But I was so nervous.
You were paranoid that they were gonna look through your phone and maybe see if you have anything too.
Yeah, and I mean I didn't, but I don't know. It was just that anxiety that I had, you know, because like we were young. We all do stupid shit, you know. But that happened, and then the next day rolls around, right? And they took us out in choir that same same period and all. She came down and she got us because it's the same period we have together.
Mm-hmm.
So they got us right. We went up there, and these our counselors were so nervous.
Yeah.
They were nervous for us.
Uh-huh.
Like they were like, "Oh, okay, they're just gonna ask us some questions, this and that."
And they were gonna put us in separate rooms and ask us individually,
Mm-hmm.
but they were like, "Are y'all more comfortable being together?" And I was like, "Yeah." So like, and thankfully they let us be there.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a little beanbag bed for us to sit on. Like,
oh yeah,
they made us very comfortable, and honestly, they were super chill. Like those,
very chill, very
yeah.
chill. They were just asking us how we knew our friend Katie, how long we've known her, what we know about the person that was commenting under her post,
Mm-hmm.
and this and that. And then we got out, we were laughing, like chilling with them and everything.
Because they honestly did a good job of making us comfortable.
Yes, and then we go out, and Miss Mendoza and Miss Sanchez are like, "Are y'all okay? What did they ask y'all?"
Yeah.
Like they were like, they were all like freaked out, and we're all just like, "Oh, it was fine." Like,
Yeah.
it was cool, it was whatever.
I was nervous walking in, but
Uh-huh.
walking out was different.
And then the FBI people took my phone, right, to continue investigating on the account and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, whatever. And we went about our day after that, and I decided to skip class. I decided to skip class while they had my phone, and I had given one of my teachers a note that I had made for myself of them saying of one of my teachers saying, "Oh, like, could you excuse them? She needs to go to this class to do this, right?" And so I did, and I was out of class. I was just in the restroom because I was freaking out, like, because they had my phone. So I was there, right? And then I'm here, and I'm like, okay, I went to the restroom. I got out, and I went to my next class, and I went back up to Miss Mendoza's class because I don't know who told me that, oh, Miss Mendoza came looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what do you mean? And I went up there to the where they were at, like they had this little corner in the hallway. So I went up there, and I was like, oh, hey, I just da da da. She was like, oh yeah, I went to go look for you, but this and that. She was like, oh yeah, and I told her my excuse that, oh, I was this place doing this. She was like, oh, okay, well, here's your phone. I just want to give you your phone back. I was like, oh, thank you, like, you know. And they had my phone for a long time.
They had
like
it for
the
the whole
very
day.
end of the day. And I was like, dang. I was so bored. I was so bored, but it was whatever. And then that happened, and then the next day, literally, I think they pulled her out of class.
Mm-hmm.
And within that same day, the account was taken down.
Yeah.
The account was taken down, and we were like, what the hell? And it was so crazy. Like, we really spoke to the FBI because we want, and we just thought she was gonna get in trouble.
We thought she was gonna be like, you can't be doing this, and she gets embarrassed for getting in trouble. But like, and I remember like telling them specifically, like, I just don't want anything to happen to her.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, at the time, I could have cared less about her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, Katie didn't mean anything to me right there. So but I'm really glad we did stop it, because you never know who that account lands on, and they could be like, let's meet up, da da da, and it's like a guy, like way older guy. You never know what things could happen. But we did it for the wrong intentions. But a good thing came out of it. And I'm pretty sure she made another account after that, but she had it on private. And like, a lot of her choir friends were following her on that account, and me and her were just like, that's weird as fuck.
Weird, because why would you let your friend do that?
Yeah.
Like, why would you let
I
your
told her,
friend
I was
do
like,
that?
if you ever do some shit like that, I'm gonna tell you to delete it right now.
Yeah, because that's so bad. Like, we
Yeah.
were little, and it was so bad. We have been through a lot of things in high school. We've broken people up. We've
Who do we break up?
or well, I guess I broke them up.
Oh.
Yeah, that was an interesting story. A very interesting
We
story.
should probably save that for another day.
Yeah, that's another day. That's a story for another day. But we have been through a lot of things as friends. Literally a lot of things. Like, I feel like we've seen so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, together, apart, and this and that. It's just crazy. I remember they gave us toys too.
Oh
to
yeah,
mess
when we
with.
were sitting down there to calm us down, they like handed us some stuff. I think they asked us if we wanted food too, but we didn't like get the food.
I should have asked for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, we should have, low key, but we didn't take advantage. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they gave us like a bunch of stuff like to mess around with, and like, I think it was a man and a woman.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It was. It was for sure.
But they were cool. They were cool.
They're fun, but that's why we don't know if it was FBI or not. Cause they told us it was FBI, but it might have just been CPS, so we could take it more serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, now she has one still.
Well, I don't know if it's active right now. Like if she still uses it, but she did
True.
like within a week she made another account.
And I honestly made me kind of mad. It made me want to tell on her again.
Yeah, like what the fuck, you didn't learn your lesson? Like,
Mm.
and you know what? We went in with, like we said, we went in with the intention of getting her in trouble. But walking out after having that conversation with those authorities, we were like, dude, we low-key did the right thing
Yeah,
because
because they were telling us all the dangers and stuff
yeah, and
too.
that's like a little bit where my paranoia started coming in too.
Hmm.
Like, cause all like you see videos on your internet all the time about, oh my gosh, this just happened, da da da, and like them explaining it to us like firsthand, like we have to experience these cases, and it's really sad. It's like wow, like Loki, we're Loki doing her a blessing, but
Honestly.
she did not care. She went ahead and did another thing again.
And I don't know what was wrong with the water they were giving us, but why was there? We had two friends who were dating people that they didn't know that were way older than them. Like they were getting catfish.
Yes.
They were getting catfish. Like why? Why was that a lot of things? Like a lot of people.
And
were
you know
doing
what?
that.
Maybe they weren't even getting catfish. These are just like lonely men that don't have anything better to do in life, so they talk to little girls. Like
That's
honestly,
so
because even the
bad.
pictures that they were showing, they're ugly guys, like
Oh yeah.
cringy guys that were talking to these like 16, 14-year olds.
Mm-hmm. It was bad.
It
It
was
was really
weird.
really bad.
Like I think they're still friends now. Those two.
Oh, for sure they are.
Yeah.
They are. I mean,
Yeah.
no, but what did we learn from this conversation?
Don't talk to people on the internet.
Yeah, always have knives on you.
Yes.
Stay paranoid. Make eye contact. Life is dangerous, or this world is dangerous. You really don't know whatever's gonna happen. But on that note, that's the end of today's episode.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because if we stood here and talked about everything that we've been through or everything that's happened to us,
we'll be here for exactly 2 years and a half. So, yeah.
You think that's how long it would take?
No. We would honestly shorten a bunch of stories.
We probably would, huh? Well, on that note, that's the end of today's podcast. I'm Ingrid.
I'm Anna.
Bye. Love you. And you pretend like you're gonna stab me.
I got that shit.